Oh God, see, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna right now just close down Pandora. I almost pushed play. Can't do that. We're over here for the remainder of the day. I ain't gonna be here much longer. Fixing kiln and the gas is getting ready to head out. It's supposed to get pretty gnarly. They got us under a tornado watch. Nothing new here. I wanted to watch this today. Looking good, looking fun. Lots of induction, lots of fucking quakes, and one up here, 4.5. They had it registered as a 5 earlier, but we're talking about Canadian boom booms. Hey, cat, how you doing? Hey, Judith, how you doing? Hope you all have a good day. I was over on Rumble a couple of times today. It's been one of those days. Hey, Polly, how you doing, huh? Hi, Angel. Everybody. Oh shit, everybody's here. I just wait for y'all to load on in and hang on a second. I'm gonna kill the gas. We supposed to be getting some rain. Mm, I got you sick. Okay. I th- I thought you was sick before I got there. It wasn't sick. It was allergies. I don't know, man. I'm feeling better. My allergies have stopped bothering me. Don't be telling me you got me sick. Shit. Y'all have some powerful allergens out that way, young lady. You're worse. See, I'm feeling better now. I think it might have been that hay. Be honest with you, I think it might have been the hay that made it worse for me because I felt better the next day. I was like, "Fuck," but I mean, I'm still fucked up. There's definitely something in the air kicking my ass, but it's your trees. Y'all got some vicious trees around here. They got thorns. Polly reminded me they got thorns in their pollen. I was like, fuck me. Yeah, my allergies make me sound like I got TB. Mulberry. I like mulberries. It's worth getting sick over. I haven't coughed up anything yellow since this began, so I knew it was allergies. It just hit me like allergies really hard. It's been going away. I'll be better in a couple days. I mean, I'm already better. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll be better in a couple days if it's subsiding this quickly. Unless a rush of new things comes in. We'll hope not. B got a runny nose too. You know, fucking Bump was saying that he doesn't have allergies, but this is the second time since he's been here, like 8 years or whatever, that he's had this where everybody's having some kind of reaction to something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's something in the air everybody's reacting to, it seems like around here. Even people that don't usually have allergies. You're looking forward to allergy season, Kat? Is that when the fun begins for you? It's, thank you, Polly. I'm looking wonderful. Oh, the snot in my beard. I've given up on it. I'm just going to die from congestion. You're losing your voice. That's where Bump's at. He's totally losing his voice. He sounds horrible. It might be affecting you differently, like a hay fever or in your sinuses. He says it's his sinuses. I'm like, dude, you got sinuses. I got allergies. The fucking every customer that walks in here talking about, man, this year, whoa, there's something going on. That's for sure. Well, yeah, see, I've been eating them little motherfucking mandarins, a couple of them a day. Yeah, I love those things. I got a bag of them for like $4. I was like, fuck yes, I will. Die from congestion. I know, right? It's clearing up for me. I'm feeling better, a lot better than I was too this weekend. I was fuck, man. I was dizzy with the fucking head thing going on. It felt squishy. Hey, Glenn. Humidity, huh? See, I'm not excited about that. It's fixing to get humid tonight. It's gonna be raining 100%. Get you some raw honey. Yeah, I checked out that Texas pollen stuff. It was $22 a bottle. I was like, I will suffer. Yeah, who we got? Oh, it's Skunk Works. What's up? How you doing? My camera's acting funny. I'm doing well. How the hell are you? Hope you stay busy, out of trouble. A lot of fucking. Hey, John. Welcome back. Got a lot of fucking quakes going. New Zealand is rocking the house today. By the way, they're just fucking rocking it, and so is Daniel. I'm not sure what's going on up there with y'all, Coffee Daniels, but y'all need to settle down. Nice. Well, cheers to you. Hi, Christy. Welcome back to the corner. How are you doing today? The source. Hey, Linda. How y'all doing? Hi, everybody. Fucking Patches is calling me. That's some funny shit. She is. You can tell. I've been watching documentaries and ran across. I fucking listen to this guy. I've been on him a couple years. He used to recommend stuff that I didn't agree with, but he's turned around, like with most everybody. But I've been following this House Select Subcommittee shit because this guy here, he's posting on it today, talking about it. I was thinking we could probably go ahead and listen to it, being as how it's a fucking doctor, John Campbell.
Look, it's Thursday, the 16th of March now. It's starting to look like there's been
Russell
an
Crowe
international conspiracy
all the time
amongst some of the world's most senior scientists.
Wait a minute,
now,
what?
That sounds
Wait a minute, what?
Welcome to this talk. It's Thursday, the 16th of March.
Doctor?
Starting to look like there's been an international conspiracy.
Did you?
Amongst some of the world's most senior scientists. Now, that's
pretty crazy, isn't it?
Sounds utterly absurd. That's the way it's starting to look.
How you doing,
I'm going to
Sean?
play you a couple of clips today from the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, which is holding a hearing on the origins of SARS coronavirus 2.
Director of the CDC.
So I'm going to play you the first clip now,
today.
and then we'll talk about it. And really, it looks
Still
like you couldn't make this stuff up. It's absolutely incredible. So let's go.
Wear it like a bad.
Straight over to the hearing now.
I now recognize Ms. Maliotakis from New York for 5 minutes of questions.
Yeah. A 200-person letter chain basically collapsed the bank. They hit 200 people. And it was one guy sent out a letter chain to 200 of his biggest friends and said, let's pull our money out of here. Boom, there it went.
Thank you, Chairman. For 2 years, myself and the other Republicans on this subcommittee connected the dots. We exposed the evidence supporting our strong belief that COVID was developed and leaked from the Wuhan lab. And during those same 2 years, the same Democrats that sit on this committee, they only hindered, they obstructed, they refused to hold hearings and get to the truth. Now we see mounting evidence supporting the COVID-19.
If this was real, I'd be over here talking to these fuckers a long time ago. This ain't real. This is exactly what I told you it was going to be, but I'm not going to say that.
Originated from the lab in Wuhan, China, run by the Communist Chinese Party. And this hearing is about getting to the truth. I thank the chairman for making this the very first hearing, because the American people who have seen
when I told you
just as many
fellow
Americans die from COVID, as nearly as many died from COVID, that died in every war since the American Revolution combined, deserve to know the truth. Dr. Redfield, you pointed to the lab leak theory even before we did. In mid-January of 2020, you expressed concerns to Dr. Fauci, to Jeremy Farrar of UK's Wellcome Trust, and to Dr. Tedros of World Health Organization that, quote, we had to take the lab leak hypothesis with extreme seriousness.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the new narrative isn't real. I'm just saying, I'm just saying that one thing.
On February 1st, Farrar convened a meeting of a group of 11 top scientists across 5 time zones.
Remember that one thing I was talking about on that one channel?
To join. And he wrote,
And then they
quote,
killed
"My
the channel,
preference is
but
to
I
keep this
still
group
put some
really
of that stuff
tight.
up on BitChute.
Obviously, ask everyone to
Yeah,
treat
that
in
one.
total confidence," unquote. Dr. Redfield, you were excluded from this call, but up until then, you had been on every single, you were included in
And we
every other
talk about this over in
conversation.
Rumble.
What changed? Why
But
do you think that
I
you were
saw the
excluded from
doctors
these
talking about it over
conversations?
here today.
Thank you very much. I think
I
just
was
to
like, this is
emphasize,
interesting. Let's watch this
in early
today.
to mid-January, I did have multiple calls with Fauci, Farrar, and Tedros about how important I thought it was that science.
I wonder why the FBI hung up on me 3 times in one day. What do you think, Polly?
I also expressed as a clinical virologist that
Why wouldn't someone want to talk to me?
Not scientifically plausible that this virus went from a bat to humans and became one of the most infectious viruses that we have for humans. All viruses are not the same. So when you look at coronaviruses for SARS and MERS, for example, when they entered the human species, which they did via an intermediate, they never learned how to go human to human. Even to this day, they don't know how to go human to human. So you can't equate Ebola with a coronavirus.
Now, why do you think you were excluded from those calls?
Because I was told to me that they wanted a single narrative and that I obviously had a different point of view.
Okay. In emails following the conference call, 4 of the 11 scientists told Fauci that they all found the genetic sequence inconsistent with expectations from evolutionary theory, basically what you're saying. However, just 3 days later, these 4 scientists had drafted a paper arguing the exact opposite, and that's now the infamous proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2. Our investigations show this paper was prompted by Dr. Fauci, among others, with a goal to disprove the lab leak theory. What is the likelihood that these scientists came across additional information just 3 days after making these statements to conclude with such certainty that COVID-19 came from nature instead of the lab leak that they thought it was 3 days earlier?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. And again, I've said this before, that this whole approach that was taken on February 1st, and subsequently in the month of February, if you really want to be truthful, it's antithetical to science.
Thank you.
Science has debate, and they squashed any debate.
Thank you. Given what we know now and looking at all the conversations in February of 2020 and before the release of the paper, do you think that Dr. Fauci used this paper to hide the gain-of-function research created this virus?
I can't talk about Fauci's motivation.
Do you think that the paper does hide the truth?
I think it's an inaccurate paper that basically was part of a narrative that they were creating. Remember, this pandemic did not start in January at the seafood market. We now know there was infections all the way back into September. This was a narrative that was decided that they were going to say this came from the wet market, and they were going to do everything they could to support it, to negate any discussion about the possibility that this came from a lab.
I got 20 seconds left. Dr. Fauci was affirmatively told in an email that NIH had a monetary relationship with the Wuhan Institute through EcoHealth Alliance. He was told this in January 27th of 2020. Do you think that Dr. Fauci intentionally lied under oath to Senator Paul when he vehemently denied NIH's funding of gain-of-function research?
I think there's no doubt that NIH was funding gain-of-function research.
Is it likely that American tax dollars funded the gain-of-function research that created this virus?
I think it did, not only from NIH, but from the State Department, USAID, and from DOD.
I'm out of time. Thank you very much.
Wow, that is just pretty incredible, isn't it? So just the characters here. So this is Nicole Malakatos, New York senator. And that, of course, was Dr. Robert Redfield, director for the Centers for Disease Control. He urged Dr. Fauci to investigate, and Sir Jeremy Farrar, the director of the Wellcome Trust, former professor of tropical medicine at Oxford University, seems to have been in this link. And Dr. Tedros, of course, which is no great surprise from the so-called World Health Organization. He wanted a really tight group with total confidence. It's just unbelievable. This is the antithesis of science. And Dr. Redfield there, as a clinical virologist, said the evolutionary jump really just doesn't make any sense. Of course, I never found the intermediate species. Can there be any question now that this is a lab leak? 11 scientists all agreed that it couldn't come from a natural origin. And then a few days later, they wrote this paper here, or they worked out on this paper here somehow, proximal origin of SARS coronavirus 2. And one sentence here is, our analysis clearly shows that SARS coronavirus 2 is not a laboratory construct or purposefully manipulated virus. Now, this is published in Nature magazine. At this time, we believed that scientific journals were as good as we got, the closest thing we got to truth. Now it looks like it's all been a complete sham. And so these people here, these authors, surely they now have questions to answer. The Department of Immunology and Microbiology, California. This one is from the University of Edinburgh in the UK. This one is from School of Public Health of Columbia University in New York. School of Life and Environmental Sciences, School of Medical Science, University of Sydney, Australia. I mean, this appears to be an international conspiracy. It is quite unbelievable. Because apparently this group of 11 scientists who were on this call, we were not told who they were, but they got together and agreed it was evolutionary impossible for this virus.
They was talking about that a couple years ago.
And then we got this paper here. This paper was first published on the 17th of March 2020. Quite incredible. And then, of course, to talk about Dr. Fauci there. Now, Dr. Fauci assured us that he was the science. Is that what he said? I am the science. So, in other words,
yeah, I'm watching it. I mean, why wouldn't I? I was telling you it was coming before it.
Arrogant for someone who's got about 40 years of administrative experience. Plenty of articles on this. This is one of
I just want to see if they get off script. That's
here,
all. They haven't.
Where Elon Musk.
They haven't done anything different than what I said they was. I mean, you know, that crazy guy. I didn't say nothing.
That refuted all criticism of COVID policy.
Not on this fucking platform. I didn't.
Just how can a scientist say I am the science? It's just the arrogance is just beyond description.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Science works by this dialectic progression
you bet.
of arguments. So
I appreciate
Dr. Redfield there, former director of Centers for Disease Control, National Institutes of Health money went to the Eco Health Alliance. That went to Wuhan. No doubt, National Institutes of Health funded gain-of-function research in the Wuhan laboratory. You really couldn't make it up. Now, I'm going to play you one more clip because this adds quite a lot of context that's pretty useful from the same hearing. Let's
he
listen to this
specializes in allergies. That's the thing about Fauci. I found funny.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the prevailing themes of the pandemic has been scientists' use of the media to downplay the lab leak theory. Mr. Wade, in your career, you worked at Nature
the media,
Science Magazine, and the New York Times. Would you agree that the scientific establishment used the media to downplay the lab leak theory?
Puffy from the pollen? I can see that.
That's a complicated issue, Mr. Comer. I think the media.
My nose has been fucking intensely fucking sore from pressure.
Particular campaign to establish.
Still is.
Natural
How you doing,
origin,
Eyes?
Theory. The scientific community is very afraid to speak up on political issues, and I think the reason is that the government grants are handed out through this system
all of the pollen,
peer review committees, and so you don't want any single.
You can only blame so much pollen. I don't know what the hell they're hitting us with this year, but it's kicking it
because you won't get your grant.
But I've got another. I do have a working theory. Maybe I couldn't prove it in the court of law, but I mean, our fauna knows what's going on. For God's sake, it might be just pumping it out. Everything just pumping out fucking pollen. I don't know. I really don't know. Things that usually don't pump out pollen might be. I don't know. But our fauna knows what's going on a lot better than most of the folks around you.
Therefore, scientists are very reluctant.
So I'm not sure what it is about this year, but it is kicking my fucking ass too. Although I'm feeling better.
they cannot be relied
you some
upon in the
rest,
way
Sean?
that I think we would like them
Good to see you.
be independent
Stay
and
safe.
forthright and call it as they see it.
Okay. Well, we saw this first with the proximal
You know,
origin
relative.
paper that said, quote, our analysis clearly showed that COVID-19 is not a laboratory construct or a purposely manipulated virus, end quote. This was first published on February 17th of 2020. Each witness, I have a simple question. Yes or no? Was there science available to make such an unequivocal statement against the possibility of a lab leak that early on, February of 2020? Dr.
Absolutely no.
Mr. Wade.
No, it was not.
Yeah, I don't have sufficient. I don't have sufficient frame of reference to give an answer.
No.
Next, Peter Dosick of Eco Health Alliance orchestrated a letter in The Lancet, a prestigious journal, on February 19, 2020 that said, quote, we strongly condemn conspiracy theories suggesting that COVID-19 does not have a natural origin, end quote. Each witness, yes or no, is the possibility COVID-19 leaked from a lab a conspiracy theory?
Yeah, that's
Absolutely not.
No.
nice grade, huh?
I would say no, but also it has been approached as such.
No.
Dr. Redfield, I want to stick with you. You have said before that you were locked out of conversations about the lab leak by Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins. Do you think they kept you out of the conversations because you believe COVID-19 may have come from a lab?
Yeah, I think I made it very clear in January to all of them why we had to aggressively pursue this, and I let them know as a virologist that I didn't see that this was anything like SARS or MERS because they never learned how to transmit human to human, that I felt this virus was too infectious for humans.
I've got work bags.
There was a lot of evidence that lab actually published in 2014 that they put the H2 receptor into humanized mice so it could infect human tissue. I think, we had to really seriously go after the fact that it came from the lab. And they knew that that was how I was thinking, although I thought we had to go after both hypotheses. And I was told later, I didn't know I was excluded. I didn't know there was a February 1st conference call until the Freedom of Information came out with the emails, and I was quite upset as the CDC director that I was excluded from those discussions.
Thing itself.
Why would they do this?
Because I had a different point of view, and I was told they made a decision that they would keep this confidential until they came up with a single narrative, which I will argue is antithetical to science. Science never selects a single narrative. We foster, as my colleague here just said, we foster debate. And we're confident that with debate, science will eventually get to the truth. This was an a priori decision that there's one point of view that we're going to put out there, and anyone who doesn't agree with it is going to be sidelined. And as I say, I was only the CDC director, and I was sidelined.
Well, I think Dr. Fauci and Dr. Collins got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They got caught supercharging viruses in an unsecure Chinese lab. They wanted to push the envelope, and so they got together to cover themselves, cover up their story, and wipe their fingerprints of the virus that has killed more than 1 million Americans. To quote Jurassic Park, they were, quote, so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should, end quote.
Good grief. Right, okay.
Best detox method. Stop doing it. Rule number 1.
Supercharged.
I'm not a big fan of the fast, personally.
So that's James Comer, congressman from Kentucky, the chair of the committee. So Mr. Wade there involved in a lot of publishing, saying that the government grants are basically awarded to people who don't rock the boat. Therefore, there wasn't a lot of boat rockers. We needed a man and a woman to stand in the gap, and did we get one?
Shave.
Well, not many, and those that we did were silenced by the media.
Someone was saying I was shaving. I didn't shave.
Of course,
I
most
just
of
braided.
us were swilling around in complete ignorance. We were treated like utter mushrooms during this time.
So I don't catch on fire.
Naively, it now turns out, trusting international scientists, taking them at their word, believing that the peer review process for journals worked and would filter out inaccurate material, when in actual fact this was published in peer-reviewed journals.
we're gonna have to continue this at a later date, like in a little bit. We'll be back at the house. Heavy metals. You know, I hear pork is good for removing heavy metals. Although you don't want to eat too much of that either. It'll give you different symptoms. Almost like you're a cannibal.
Bluetooth pairing.
Yeah, ain't much we do eat out of the grocery store good for us. Except for Ovaltine. I love that shit. Couldn't live without it. Let's see here. Fan. I think it's about it then. Now I got a man bag, bitches. Oh shit.
You ready?
Did I? Yeah. Good God, where'd that go?
It's underneath that chair.
Thank you. Priceless. All right, y'all. I will catch up with you in a little bit. We'll go live again on the way home. Stay calm.